What's up, and welcome to episode 31 of Brewing Through the Multiverse. I'm Mike.
I'm Joel. Are you still cracking one open? I love that.
I have to.
I don't know why I'm
It's my
ever
obligation.
surprised. Just is the way.
Yeah, it's fine. It's so I got land shark today. It's nice and light. It's almost like orange juice. And then I got some hoop teas to get me through.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have certain beers that you like as like breakfast kind of beers versus like oh, I don't want to drink that beer. That's like a late day beer.
No, I'd like to say I like a nice dark stout in the morning while it's still cool, but I'd also drink a nice dark stout at night or in the middle of the day. Same with IPAs no, I don't discriminate.
It's
Any
good.
day, all day. Yeah. Like a true enthusiast. But yeah, it was a long, busy week. I'm sick of these night shifts. And we have magic planned, so that's good. How's your week been?
Well, actually, speaking of the devil, let's see. Live on air, is it confirmed? Oh, they're just asking for more details.
Yeah, trying to set up that magic tomorrow, dog.
Yeah. We'll talk about it right after the cast. We'll confirm that.
All right, yeah. I was looking through my decks this morning again, trying to find out some cards that I wanted to mention for today. And just flipping through my decks makes me so excited. I can't wait to play them again. Kate the Cage Brawler is a great build, and just got to get more playtime with her.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. I really love the choice of the clash, like just is she gonna get 2 counters? No.
Yeah. And it's not that bad half the time. Like she dies quickly. People are gonna kill her before she gets that big. So most of the time it's like, I'll take 3 damage for a card draw,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's only 1. A lot of times for me, so as the player of her, I like being able to dump lands. And even though I'm not putting counters on her, I'm filtering my hand to find the big things that I do need. Or so I don't mind throwing away the lower CMC card at all. Where I thought like I'd really want to throw the higher card. Doesn't matter. I'm still getting card draw.
Yeah, so you're sculpting your hand.
Yeah. No, she's a cool commander. So have you played any Magic this week?
I've looked at Magic cards this week. I've visually seen them.
That counts. See anything good?
Yeah, there's some Modern Horizons 3 cards that I think are going to be pretty nifty.
Have you picked up any packs or anything yet for Modern?
I pre-ordered the Energy Precon so that I could smash it together with Fallout and make a Super Energy Precon. And then yeah, I got a couple packs on Whatnot. I think I got like 2 packs, and I got a Flare of Duplication, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for one of them. That's awesome.
And a Charitable Levy. And I'm
What does
only
that
bringing
do?
this. I'm only bringing this card up because let's put it on. Let's pick it up. Damn my blurred background. Nope. All right. High tech here. It's 1 and a white for an enchantment, which non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. And whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, put a collection counter on it. Then if there are 3 or more collection counters on it, sacrifice it. If you do, draw a card. Then you may search your library for a Plains card, put on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle.
Nice. So it's an annoying little tax for everybody.
Yeah.
Until you get a card draw on the land.
I just saw it pop up in like the competitive EDH subreddit about like people are excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the same effect as what's her name?
Thalia.
Oh my gosh, Thalia. Yeah, right. That's the same text, non-creature token.
Yeah, it
spells
costs 1
are
more.
1 more. Yeah. Well, there you go. Redundancy. And then draw a card and get a land.
Yeah, you slow down people's like early game interaction.
It's nice
And
that it's an
then
uncommon too.
yeah, probably be an uncommon that creeps up to a couple dollars. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah, well,
if
good.
the subreddit is correct. I don't know. I'm
So that's for competitive EDH.
yeah, I mean, I don't really see that making waves in like casual.
Yeah,
Are you excited about that card? Would you run that card or anything?
I would not. I
Yeah,
wouldn't. Is this modern playable though?
that's a good question. Honestly, I can't even. I wish still kept up with modern in terms of like
Yeah.
decks and archetypes and whatnot. I have no idea what would even want that.
Yeah, I mean, death and taxes, right? Something like that would want it. But I don't know. I don't
I
even
don't
know
know
if
if
that's
there's a
still
good death
played.
and taxes list in modern. That's a legacy deck more. I mean, there might be.
I
You know
mean,
what?
they got Winter Moon now.
Let's look at the good old MTG Goldfish metagame for modern.
Yeah.
Top five are Rakdos Scam, Yawgmoth, Domain Zoo, Living End, and Amulet Titan.
Domain Zoo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's nothing too different than what's happened,
Yeah.
but
I
not
like that
not what we
Yawgmoth
used to
is one
play
of the
with.
best.
Yeah, that's just mono black.
It's Golgari.
Okay.
Four delighted halflings, four young wolves, orcish bowmasters, and then four Yawgmoths
Okay. Cool.
and Grist. That's pretty cool. I'd love to see like what this looks like in play. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a U style. You'd put a little white in there, splash a little white, but
You know, I can't recall if I ever had a Golgari commander deck. I know that I had Slimefoot at one time as part of like the budget jack deck exchange we did. Um, but I don't think I've ever built one myself,
hmm.
which is interesting because I do like the pair.
Hmm. I don't think I've ever built one either. I always wanted to build Hapatra. I never did. And
I was always sad that you never did. I feel like every once in a while I'm like, oh shit, Mike should have built that.
honestly, I still would with all the new Massacre girls and everything. Hapatra would be great. You know, just
But
there's
is
a lot of
Massacre
counter
Girl counters
shenanigans and stuff.
though?
It's great. Um, but
Isn't it just like -1, -1?
yeah, but the theme of a lot of it is just if something dies with -1 on it, so like I'm sure it can exchange halfway. Does Hapatra need a -1 counter in order to get that snake? I don't know. Something
Whenever
I would
you
look
put
into,
one
but
or more, -1 counters in a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch.
oh, okay. Hmm. Well, we'll see. I have no interest in building it. There's that one mana Strixhaven fella, uh, Dean or something like that, but he's one green, and then his other side is one black. I always wanted to build him. I thought he would be a good one, but never interested because at the end of the day, add red, add a third color.
Yeah, I would add white.
Yeah, fair. Well,
All right.
let's get down to business here, man.
Let's get down to business.
Our top green cards. We finally reached Ga, and I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, you go first then.
All
You ready
right,
to
I'm gonna
present
start.
using the present feature?
Awesome. We still have the present feature. We had to downgrade this month, guys. I went crazy on whatnot. I spent our budget. So
Donate to the
um
Patreon.
yeah, right. Just Venmo me, all right. So the first card I have is Toski, Bearer of Secrets.
I
Uh,
was almost gonna pick Toski.
yeah, I think he's just a classic, or she. I don't know what this little squirrel is. Looks funky. Um, so 3 and a green, 1/1, legendary squirrel. This spell can't be countered. It's indestructible, And when Toski attacks, it has to attack each combat Fable. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Even if you draw one card a turn and you have to swing at something maybe you don't want to, eventually there's going to be that turn where you hit with 3 creatures and you get 3 cards. And
Yeah.
it's got indestructible, so it doesn't matter that you're swinging with it. It does get to block that first turn. And it's just such a great way to do card draw without actually having a spell that says, hey, draw some cards.
Yeah, I love
I
Toski. Great for like chump blocking. It lives through
yeah,
basically everything besides mass like exile or massacre girl shenanigans. But yeah, big fan of Toski.
yeah. Now, so my like thing is there's uh Beast Whisperer, there's Guardian Project, and then there's Toski. They're all in the 4 mana, you can possibly draw a bunch of cards. I went for Toski because at the end of the day, the other 2, you need to keep on dropping creatures in hand. And although there's some turns where you could drop a bunch, you don't have to swing through and everything. There's something about just, not having to worry what's in your hand and just let the board draw cards.
That's
I
fair.
This one edged out for me, but how do you feel about that? What would be your choice out of those 3?
Of the 3, I my choice is Guardian Project.
Mm,
Um because I find that enchantments are a little bit more difficult to interact with.
yeah.
Um
And one less green pip.
yeah, and then I just like being certain that at least when you cast the creature, or no, I guess it's ETB. So at least, creature hits the board, like I'm definitely getting a card draw, as opposed to like if I can't swing through, or it's not always beneficial to swing out like with your creatures, even if you have a decent board, because then you're like open. So I'd rather
Mm,
just get the card when I cast the spell. But I understand where you're coming from with Toski too, and I could totally see the toss up, because then Toski's a body on the field that you could block with. Like there's pros and cons.
yeah. Yeah. And it also, a lot less variance if you're going for the Guardian Project.
Yeah,
Again, like you said, it's like you control when that card draws. Although maybe there's a limit, you have 100% certainty you're getting that card if that hits. So
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So that's my first green, man. What do you got?
All right, I'll present. Hold on, we're presenting. We're gonna present. There we go.
Oh, present. There it
There we
is.
go.
Hey, nice.
Gruff triplets. I fucking love this card. When this card was spoiled, like originally, I fell in love with it right away. Um, I know it's not fantastic, but in standard, it's like a card that I actually like wanted to play standard for. Um, just because like if you ramp into it and then it dies and you have 6/6s and you play your second copy and then one of those dies and I have a bunch of 9/9s and it's just like it you can swing recklessly with one of the tokens because the other tokens are going to get buffed up and like they'll be able to take the crack back. Like I love this card, and I'm glad that I managed to find a home for it in Commander in my Abzan Blink deck. So I
Yeah.
love the
This says a
triplets.
lot of this says a lot about a card when it made you want to play standard.
Yeah,
This is the first card that's done it. It's absolutely terrorizing. The idea of having a second one hit the battlefield is fucked up. The real thing about it is the trample. Like there is so much body coming onto the battlefield, and that's manageable as the opponent, except for that trample.
yeah,
It's unreal and works great with Toski. You know,
yep,
so
perfect.
yeah. Do you think that if you were to go back to standard, Gruff would stay in your rotation?
If as long as I was running that mono green like kind of stompy deck, yes. Um, if I were to build like a
Do green black.
multicolored kind, what's up?
Do green black. Just splash black in.
I feel like I would try to force Abzan because that's like what I always do every time,
All right,
no
that's
matter
fair.
what.
That way you could play Thalian the Gitrog. Such
Yeah,
a good card in standard
love
right
that
now.
card.
Yeah.
I think
I
Troy was
hope so.
hyping that card up in standard as well, like when it first came out.
Yeah, and try playing against it. It's a problem. It really is because everything comes in tapped, and then there's this fat fucking frog swinging at you, and your shit's coming in tapped.
So my
It's a
blink
problem.
deck is one of my few decks where the commander has nothing to like is not relevant to the game plan at all. And Thalia and the Get Rog Monster are the commander for that deck. And even just like I'm setting up my like blinking turns or like, I'm trying to like, get payoffs on the battlefield to make it, worth it, whatever. Just the first strike death touch alone on a 4/4 is like, what? And then you can play an extra land. I never attack with it. Like I don't need to attack with it. Yeah. What a great card.
Yeah, and again, everything's coming in tapped. That yeah, wild card. So you got to get into standard, dog.
Maybe I'll try to build around. I'll try to build around that.
Yeah, I love it. All right, my next green card is Old Gnawbone.
Uh,
5 green green. So it's a 7 mana, 7/7 legendary dragon with flying. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. So you can kind of see
there's a
there's a theme
theme.
here with, yeah, yes. I love, if I'm playing green, I want to hit people. And if I'm hitting people, I want there to be vast rewards for it. Old Gnawbone is an expensive card. I have one copy that I went out of my way to buy this card. It was $30. It's a lot for a Magic card. Playing the hell out of it, and it's worth every dollar. It's super fun. The fact that it's a 7/7 means it's a lot to take out. It has evasion with the flying, and half the time you drop it and you swing with another creature to get those treasure tokens. And it's going to be 4 to 8 treasure tokens, for each creature that's hitting, because you're playing green. They're going to be big, and it will get you so much mana, so much more mana than the like Dictate of Karametra or something like that.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, it's just immediate. There's your treasure tokens. Get going. Do what you got to do. You don't have to worry about what you're tapping. And if you do have anything with artifacts, it's wild. It's just suddenly you're getting artifact triggers. So I think Old Gnawbone is one of those powerful green creatures ever made.
Yeah, no, I love Old Narbonne. Or the other thing that happens is you play it and it immediately gets removed, which is what happens to me. I would say 8 out of 10 times. Old Narbonne shows
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I'll use whatever removal I have on an Old Gnawbone if I see it come out.
Yeah,
It's like a
understandable.
Tali. It's
Yeah,
exactly like a Tali.
great card. Again, almost chose this as well. It was
Yeah,
on like the ten list.
because it's an undeniable, absolutely powerhouse of a card. It's wild.
I want
And
to see
it's
if
in
this works.
that's in Commander Legends, right? Battle for Boulder Gate. Yes.
Sounds
Yes.
like it would
So
be based on the name Old Narbonne.
yeah, Adventure in the Forgotten Realms is what it's from, actually. It's not from the
Oh shit.
Legends. Yeah, that's interesting. And it's still there at $32. All right.
Yeah. All right, my
What's your
number
next?
two. Okay, that didn't work like I wanted it to, but we could just do it this way. My number
Oh,
two is Tyvar Stand.
ooh, nice.
I like this card for a variety of reasons, um, both in standard and in Pioneer. I don't know if it's relevant in modern at all, but it's definitely playable in Commander for a variety of reasons. So for 1 green, you can save a creature because hexproof indestructible is essentially only interactable with mass exile. Um, or negative counters just like before, but you know what I'm saying. But not negative counters, negative one, like Massacre Girl. But then you can also spend mana to just give it XX. So like if you're not using it to save a creature, you could use it to close out a game. You could use it as like a gotcha for like a block. Like I just feel like it's such a versatile card, and that the fact that you could still get value only paying 1 green, um, I feel like makes this card like amazing. I love this card.
Yeah. I always see cards like this. You see it as a 1 mana instant, and you're like, okay, it's a 1 mana instant. But you really got to kind of compare this to Gold Vein Hydra, or that new Hydra that just came out. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. Whatever creature you're throwing through, you could pump it to make it this massive, hasty thing that hits in, um, to win a game. But it also is giving that creature protection, and if, like you said, if you want, you could use it as creature removal. So honestly, I think Goldbane Hydra. I'm calling it that. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah,
Goldbane Hydra.
I think it's what it is.
Okay. I think that card is absolutely cracked. And this is honestly like a ghost spirit version of that happening on the battlefield with protection and more capability. And you don't get treasure tokens at the end of it, but this is comparable. So an uncommon 1 mana instant that gives you the ability to do anything you want to do, whether it be protect, kill, end games. Yeah, that's a sneaky little fella. How
Yeah,
much is it
big
there?
fan.
It's $1.50 for that uncommon, huh?
Yeah, because it's fucking great.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I always overlook these cards, and this is a card that Troy has always been huge on. Also,
Yeah.
um, I always overlook this stuff, and you guys sell it to me, and once I buy it, oh, I it's the truth, but these always get past me.
Any
Nice
deck
pick.
that you're running that has a creature that you need to keep on the battlefield, you should run one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, what's with that infect deck right now? There's the rot venerated rot priest.
Yeah.
Like, this is great for that.
Yep.
Just keep it protected. It targets it, so you're gonna get that trigger off of it. You can pump it if you need to, and kill something with your little 1/1 that you're blocking with. That is good shit, man.
Yeah, it's my timeless no explorer deck was black green uh like poison using that exact combo.
Well, I mean, you could put this in your Thalia and the Gitrog standard deck to protect it. You know, you're playing extra
Hey.
lands, so you'll have 1 green to
Yeah,
protect it
it's
if
a
you need to.
spare, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right, we're getting there. We're brewing through the
Yeah,
multiverse.
we sure are. We'll get you into standard. Even if, like you had said, like when the new set comes out, Bloombarrow comes out, if that's when you jump in, all these cards will still be in there. So I hope so. This is it. This is actually what the podcast is it's the journey into finally getting you into standard.
Okay. What a long strange trip it's been.
Yeah, well, the scenic route, the roundabout, right? That's what life is. So we'll get there. So my third green card is an absolute classic for me. I've been playing this in my decks since day one, like pretty much as early as I've been playing Commander. These have been sneaking in, and it is Green Warden of Marasa. It's 4 green, green, 5/4 elemental. So it's a nice body for 6. When Green Warden enters the battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. And it's target card. So you could get anything. It's an
Yeah.
e-witness, whatever you want. But then there's this fat 5/4 on the battlefield. And when Green Warden dies, you may exile it. If you do, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a problem in every way. It enters, it gets you something you really wanted back from your graveyard in anything. Then it's a 5/4, so they have to handle it. And then once they handle it, you get something else back from your graveyard. I love this card so much.
I've seen you use it to great effect many times. And yeah, it was always a pain in the ass. I actually ended up like not enjoying this card at first only because I bought so much Battle for Zendikar trying to like look for expeditions, and then got like this instead of something else, or like I didn't get the Ulamog, I got the Green Warden, and then it
Yeah.
was just like fuck this card. But
Oh, it's a
I've seen
bummer to
you
pull in a pack.
yeah, I've seen you use it enough well where it's like okay cool, like I can you've sold me on its value, in play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still play again, is the e-witness is cheaper and more effective and this that, but this is just the fact that it's such a fat body that's going to do it again when they inevitably have to use removal on it. And you can be reckless with it. Hold it there to block whatever. A swing into a death touch creature. Who cares? Because now they don't
Yeah.
want it to die. I love it. All right, what do you got for your third?
All right, let me just see something real quick. For my third, I've got. Is this gonna work? This? Nope.
I don't know if that was picked up. Sorry.
Is it gonna work like this?
Ah,
Aha! There we go. The Great Aurora. It's
I've
from
never
Magic
heard of this card.
Origins.
What?
Nine mana. Each player shuffles all cards from his or her hand and all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then draws that many cards. Each player may put any number of land cards from his or her hand onto the battlefield, and then you exile the Great Aurora.
What?
This card is
I've
so
never
cool.
seen this.
I've only been able to cast it a couple of times. And I really only ever run it in like my when I occasionally have like big mana decks. Um like this is in my the Emoti deck that I like threw together.
Huh.
Yeah,
My goodness.
yeah, this card's awesome. I just
Yeah.
love that it's a pseudo board wipe in green, which seriously lacks those.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to.
also
It's wild. Go ahead.
no, but also it's just like I find that it's a fun mini game too of, okay, you had 20 things out. You could draw, hopefully you draw 20, what like things to play. Everyone has huge hands. Like it just shakes up the board in such a hardcore way. And somebody could like, it's like, somebody could have, 12 lands now instead of like the five that they had, or all of a sudden
Mhm.
somebody that was way far ahead, like is now like, shit, I only got 3 lands out of like the 7 permanents I had.
Yeah. That's
So
I'm thinking so hard on what decks I could immediately put this in and if it works, and I don't think I have one right now, unfortunately, but
yeah,
I
you got to be able to
very
hit
interested.
9 mana, which is tough.
Yeah. Well, so it's not even just hitting the 9 mana, it's making sure you have enough out on the battlefield to do such. Like, I'm thinking Henzi can't run this because a lot of the stuff is gonna leave the battlefield at the end of turn. So,
Yeah.
like, I'd have to pop a bunch of things out that are gonna leave and then cast it and hope other things, but, like, I just want something where I'm gonna have a fat board of random cheap stuff, and this'll, give me the best bang for my buck, and it's a wild card, man. I'm saving this one. This one will be cast one day by me, but I gotta find a home for that one.
Word. I'm glad that
Excellent.
I could open your eyes to something cool.
Yeah, and Origins was like my first set I
Yeah.
was really ever playing. So I guess it was just too expensive for me to even recognize this. It was
Yeah.
invisible to me. Wild. All right. Man, some good green cards. Do you have any shout outs or anything to green? Any comparable cards?
No, I mean, nothing like it just my mind is like, oh, the Great Henge. Like no one's ever heard of that card.
Yeah. Hey,
Or like
heroic intervention is really
it's
good, man.
exactly. So no, nothing like I feel like I found 3 cards that like I enjoyed that's not because I'm really trying to approach this not picking like the best thing of that
Yeah.
color
Yeah.
because it's such an easy route to take in terms of like, all right, yeah, no shit, fucking Teferi's Protection and Smothering Tithe are great white cards.
Yeah. 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 This is the B-sides. This is the B-side
Yeah,
selection.
yeah, like when you're like, oh, the restaurants that aren't on the tour guide, like that are great, like that's how I'm kind of approaching this.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. It's a good way. Because I know it says top 3 green cards, but not top 3 best. It's top 3 favorite. So
Yeah, like fun.
yeah.
What I enjoy playing.
Yeah. All right. Let's do the colorless. That darn colorless. Now it's hard for me because I was going through a lot of artifacts, but a lot of artifacts aren't colorless. Um, so I made sure I went colorless, colorless. Do you have any colored artifacts that you chose in this list?
No, because I wouldn't count them as
Because it's not colorless. Okay.
colorless.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we were on that same page.
So
All
I
right.
just said Great Henge for green.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Vorpal sword for black. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I think you cast artifacts more than I do. You have more of an affinity for artifacts. Um, so
I like
start us off. What's your first?
that. My first is, and let's see if I can do this easily. There we go. I'll do it like that. Like this. All right. Emrakul the Promised End. I know I just said like it's $46. Holy shit. Damn.
Damn.
It's been going up. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
realize
yeah, all
that.
this Eldrazi hype. Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Well, actually, yeah, all the Eldrazi hype too. I'm not excited about picking up the new 3 Titans, which I
Yo,
have to
they dropped
do.
in price a lot. I checked last night. They are down to like $20. Grab them.
Oh, I'm gonna scoop
Grab
them
them.
now then, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because I have to go in. I can't not have all of the Titans in my
Yeah.
so I have a colorless Eldrazi deck. It's built on the bones of the Commander Masters precon. I am not getting the Modern Horizons 3 precon because it's 5 color. And after the conversation we had here, like I want to keep it colorless for like the the hoop to jump through rather
Yeah.
than because I know that if I made it 5 colors, I would just put like every good card in it. But anyway, Emrakul the Promised End is a bullshit card. I like that it's one less to cast for each card type in your graveyard. So you could kind of cast it for like 10, 9.
7.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you dig 7. But just the fact that when you cast it, you gain control of target opponent during their turn. Um, that's like the best effect in the world, in my opinion. There's
Yeah.
nothing I love more than trying to see like how I could fuck over my opponent the most with like using their own resources. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes they really don't have anything that kind of like would hurt them in any way. But when you like, I think my favorite, and we've talked about it before, was like one time I took Joey's turn and I just blew like 3 removal spells out of his hand to like target threats to me and then swung unfavorably and then ended the turn by like just like tapping all the lands or whatever. Like I know they get an extra turn, but that was really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Dump in the hand. You've done that to me multiple times with Zevlar, with Emrakul, where I always tend to hold up some removal, and every time you'll just rip it out of my hand, use it on my own stuff. It's a brutal thing. Emrakul really, it's a promised end. It's I don't know. I like it. It's funny too. I love when you take other people's turns because you love it. Obviously, you
Yeah.
get very excited when it happens. You get this little, smile on your face. But sometimes you'll stand over their shoulder like the diabolic tutor artwork, and you're like, you're just over there, just formulating over their shoulder, like, what? How am I gonna fuck them? It's a beautiful thing. I love that. So keep doing it. Mark loves it.
Mark definitely loves it.
Yeah. Damn, Emrakul. All right, that's a strong start. Now, would
Yeah.
you say this is the best of the 3 Emrakuls, or is this the funnest of them?
Uh I don't know. Honestly, the new one
Because its
with
protection is crazy too.
yeah, the new one with taking people's creatures and stuff, that's going to be I'm going to have to run it. I'm going to have to see. I can't say. And the original Emrakul obviously is like the best because you can't fucking play it in Commander, so
Yeah. Yeah.
but still.
Alright,
No, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a toss up.
that's fair.
All right,
Well,
what's your first?
my first one is gonna be Key to the City.
I knew it. I 100%. I wish I wrote it down because I fucking knew this card would be on your list. I knew it.
Dude, Key to the City is the gnarliest little utility artifact you could ever ask for. For 2 mana,
Cat.
it's tap to discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Okay. I first off, discarding a card is not a bad thing. There's a lot of decks that can do it. Think about it this way with the newest Emrakul.
Yeah.
You tap this, discard that new Emrakul, you cast that bitch for 6. And I believe so you would discard the card, you cast Pay the Madness, it enters the battlefield, you take everybody's shit, and then it doesn't even matter, but you can target it to make it unblockable. Um, but you have everyone's shit, so you don't need the unblockable. But then it also says whenever Key to the City becomes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. There's a lot of times when I have this on the battlefield, I will tap and discard a card in order to make someone else's creature unblockable. It doesn't have to be your own creature. And so you can help other people deal damage. You tap it in order to discard a card, but really the thing is you need to draw an extra card the next turn. So you use this as card draw. So the next turn you pay the 2. I'll happily pay 2 to draw a card any day. And it's something you did while making sure other damage happened to someone else. You kind of made an alliance with someone because you helped them get something through safely. It's just great. It's again, discard. So a lot of decks need to get stuff into the graveyard. This is a great way to do discard while also making things unblockable. You could do it on other people's turns. It doesn't have to be your own creatures. You draw with this card. 2 mana, Key to the City. Try it out.
Yeah, I remember actually you played this in was it standard or was this in your like weird vampire modern deck? What did you run
I've
Key to the
played it
City in?
everywhere.
You definitely have run
Everything.
you've run it in constructed. I've seen it. Kick ass. You convinced me to put it into I think Ilharg. And honestly, with the new Emrakul, I might find a spot in my Eldrazi deck. Because at worst, any of the Eldrazi is a pain in the ass to get hit by. And 2 mana draw card in colorless, which already kind of lacks that ability, is not bad.
Yeah. And it's great because it's been printed so many times. They're putting it in precons and stuff. So it'll never be an expensive card, too. This is
Yep.
something you can easily
Change.
run.
Couch change.
Yeah. Damn, I sold
All
that one hard. I was excited about that one. All right, what else you got?
My next is we've got Aetherworks Marvel.
Mm,
I fucking love Aetherworks Marvel ever since it was released. And I think we've told the story a couple times, but famously, like, bought into the standard deck with Aetherworks Marvel and the Ulamogs and all that shit and played it. And then it got banned. I think I played it for 2 weeks and then it got banned. So I got to play it twice.
yes,
And
2 weeks.
I was super fucking salty, but I wasn't that salty. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew it was like strong, but still, it was like, damn, only 2 weeks. But another reason why I'm a big fan of this card is just like it was 4 mana, and obviously energy is not the easiest to get. I'm excited to use this card again with the new energy precon, which is why I was so intent on making it work. Like making the Fallout one work, and then when Modern Horizons 3, like I was like, I need to get them both, and then it actually got reprinted in that as well. So that's pretty cool. But it's instant speed. Like it's well, not instant speed, sorry, but like 4 mana to play it, and then as long as you have the energy, you can use it immediately. Like once it resolves, you can instantly get at least 1 trigger off of it. And
yeah, you don't have to wait next turn. It doesn't come in tapped or any of that
yeah,
bullshit.
exactly. You
Yeah.
just go for it, which I think is the reason why everyone originally said like, oh, if it came in tapped, it wouldn't need to be banned. But you know, it was very easy to get a turn 4 Marvel going.
Yes.
So I just thought that was super cool. And then you drop an Ulamog, like, good lord. So very excited to use it in Commander. I know it's not going to hit nearly as hard in Commander just because, you know, it's 100 cards. That's 60 and you're not running multiples of things. But it was a lot of fun to play with when I did have time to play with it.
Now there's that card in Modern Horizons 3. I think it's like Peer into Eternity or something like that. Peer Beyond, where I think it says colorless permanence triggered twice.
Yes, Echoes of Eternity.
Okay, so how would it work with this card? If you tapped and you paid that, would it kind of Strionic Resonator where you don't have to pay again?
Well, isn't it activated ability? Is it triggered ability or activated ability
I think it's
for
both.
Echoes?
I'll look up. I'll look up
Let's
Echoes.
look it up.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's both. I think it's any trigger happening on any colorless spell. Go ahead.
If a
Read
triggered
that.
ability of a colorless spell or you control.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's not a triggered ability.
Okay. All right. Cool. Triggered. So that also wouldn't work with Gonti's either hard either. Okay. Good.
But the top part of Aetherworks Marvel, though, whenever a permanent you control is put into the graveyard, that would trigger twice.
Okay. That's cool. Good. As long as that shit isn't getting triggered twice with Echoes. All right.
No.
Because Aetherworks Marvel's already out of
Now,
control. But now Strionic would. No. No.
Trionic
Strionic
would
is
work.
triggered also.
No,
Yeah.
but I think
Okay.
it's a creature, no?
Strionic? No, it's any triggered any activated ability? Or is that triggered also?
Target triggered.
It's all triggered. Okay. Good. Good.
I do think what's isn't there a damn, I feel like there is a colorless card that copies activated abilities,
I don't
but
know.
now I can't
But while you
recall.
have this up here, this was one that almost made my list. So while we have it pulled up,
Same.
this is Fate right here. Wandering Archaic. All right. Read that. That shit's too small for me to see.
Whenever an opponent, okay, so it's 5 mana for a 4/4. It's an avatar. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Love this.
Yeah, this card's awesome. So, yeah, it's in my colorless deck.
Now, most times people will pay the 2 mana. They're not going to let you get that shit unless it's like a board wipe and they're like, sure, get a copy of it anyway. So just be aware if you're paying this 5 mana to play Wandering Archaic, people will invest that extra 2 mana to make sure you don't get it. However, watching them struggle, whether they want to pay the 2 or not, is worth all 5 mana.
Yeah.
Just it's because no one wants to pay the 2 mana, but there's no way they're going to let you get a free copy of what they're spelling. So just be ready. You're not going to get that copy unless like it's that really early rampant growth. Well, even at that, you already dropped 5 mana, so they're not going to let you. Dude, they never let you play that spell. And that's why it didn't make it on my list, but damn is it fun to give them
Yeah,
that
it's
option.
fun. Same. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next?
All right. So my next one is Jinxed Choker. It's a
I knew
3
that.
mana artifact. Yeah, I know.
Dude,
even,
I would have been good today. I wish I wrote these down.
yeah, I even texted you this morning. I'm like, I think mine's pretty predictable because these are the cards that I think are doing the most action in our boards without people knowing. So Jinx Choker is a 3 mana artifact. At the end of your turn, target opponent gains control of Jinx Choker and put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, Jinx Choker deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it. Then you could pay 3 mana to put a charge counter on it or remove one from it. So ultimately, I cast it. It comes out onto the battlefield, does absolutely nothing. At the end of my turn, I put a counter on it. I hand it to an opponent. When it goes to my opponent's upkeep, it's going to say, hey, take damage equal to the amount of counters. They take their 1 damage. It goes to their end step. They put a counter on it. Then they hand it to someone. And then that person's going to take 2 damage, put a counter on it, hand it to someone. They're going to take 3 damage. And it just passes around. Now, if you put it in rotation and every opponent just agrees to give it to the next person in rotation, this thing grows enormously. It deals a lot of damage and it gets scary. You can do it where it's just, I'm going to pass it to the right. That way it really doesn't happen if you're afraid of it growing. But it makes a lot of choices. And you can pay the 3 mana to add more if you really want to, fuck the next person. You could pay 3 mana to remove one if you really can't afford that. It's like, I'd rather pay 3 mana to get out. Again, a lot of choices. You watch people struggle on who am I giving this to? Because if I give it to the next person, they're going to be really mad at me. Maybe they'll swing at me just because I gave them this Jinx Choker that I didn't want in the fucking first place. Great. It's great. People are interactive with it. It's moving around. It's kind of like a bad Bucknards. Bucknards is a good card. Jinx
Bad
Choker's like
Bucknards.
the evil version of it. So I love it. And every time I've cast it, it has done, I mean, 20 damage by the end of the game, you know, so good stuff.
I like breaking the cycle and just giving it back to you.
Yes, yes, you always do. Which is, you know, that's the beauty of it too, is like you can do that. But also, you know, you're helping your opponents by doing that. So I like to see you be spiteful on those terms.
Sometimes you got to do
Yeah. Buy it. It's cheap. What is this? It's less than $1. Buy it, put it
Yeah,
into one
get
of your
one.
precons, low cost decks. Even like the new Gonti, where just because it's kind of like fucking around with everyone's boards, throw a Jinx Choker in Gonti. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. He says.
He says. What do you got, man?
My last one is not splashy at all. It's Wayfarer's Bauble. Um, I love Wayfarer's Bauble because it's a little bit of ramp for decks that don't have access to like better ramp color, like options.
Hmm.
So I'll often throw, and I know it's not like the greatest, but I'll often throw Wayfarer's Bauble in. Like basically any deck that doesn't have green, there's a possibility Wayfarer's Bauble makes it in. And the reason why I like it so much is because with high frequency, I feel like a lot of games go turn one, land, pass, turn two, some sort of two man, like a signet or a talisman, something along those lines. Mind Stone, just different shit like that. So very frequently games go one, I'm playing nothing, two is my turn for the ramp, and then pass. Wayfarer's Bauble in decks that don't have, land fixing easily, the colors. Turn one, you can play it. Turn two, you're paying the second mana to tap it and get that other land. You're searching for whatever color that you don't have, and you're still on curve with everyone else, essentially. So I know it's a very simple card, but I feel like Wayfarer's Bauble is like low key awesome, just like color fixer and like a little bit of ramp
Yeah.
for all you
I
Boros decks out there.
Poros mono blue.
Yeah,
Uh
anything
actually no, don't give mono blue ramp. Get out of here. Don't play this.
non-green, any non-green, you probably could
Yeah.
sneak a Wayfarer's Bauble in there.
Yeah. Well, I've never cast the Wayfarer's Bauble. Yeah, I don't think I've ever cast one. I don't see this as ramp. I'm not saying I don't think it's ramp. It's just again, this is one of those cards I just overlook when I'm skimming through. Um, I always see it as like, if I'm going to do an artifact ramp, I'd rather do Arcane Signet, Worn Power Stone, something like that. Not realizing the benefit of having that land actually be a land on the battlefield. And like you said, you could turn two, get that extra land, which is a rampant growth. That's really what it is. You put an extra mana in, but on turn one where you weren't doing shit anyway.
That's what my argument is.
Yeah, perfect. It's perfect because it's something I never saw it as. Again, I see it as like, yeah, but this is something I might end up putting in some of my decks moving forwards that I need ramp and I'm not in green. So
Yeah, because I always
I'm sold.
prefer an extra land over an an artifact, just because it's so much harder to interact with the lands.
Yeah, that's fair. And any land trigger deck, anything that's counting the amount of lands, that shit's all useful. Even if you play Virtuous Strength, like this is a great way to get another basic land out for Virtuous Strength. So
Also,
I
this
like
is
it.
what I was thinking of. Abstruse Archaic. One and tap it, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from a colorless source. So
There it
this
is.
could copy the Marvel trigger.
And the Gonti
Or
trigger.
not trigger, but
Okay.
the Marvel fucking
Yeah. The spin.
yeah.
And you wouldn't have to pay it. So you tap it, you pay the mana to get the spin, and then you just pay this to tap it and get the trigger. And you don't have to repay energy.
Yeah, because I think it's already been activated, so you're just copying
Right.
it.
Right. You already paid that cost. All right. Nice. All right.
All right, so on to our favorite lands, right? Or did we miss your last
Oh,
colors?
I got one. I got one more
Oh,
artifact,
we
and it's a
sneaking
fun
one in
one.
there.
It's a fun one. Zenith Chronicler.
Uh,
So it's a two man. This is a new card. This is from I think goal will be one. It's a 2 mana 3/1 Phyrexian construct. Whenever a player casts their first multicolored spell each turn, each other player draws a card. This is paid out very well. I'm playing this in my mono black Massacre Girl deck. Um, so I will never give everyone else a card draw myself. It'll never be a multicolor. And then for everyone else, they're going to cast multicolors pretty easily. And it's only for the first one. And it is kind of a bummer that everyone else draws, but I like for 2 mana being able to, even if other people are drawing, to know that I'm going to draw at least 3 or 4 cards off of this for 2 mana. It's also a 3/1, so it is a blocker. It's just sitting there, but it can block if I need it to die because other people are getting too much advantage. It's something I'll definitely chump block with, and it's been nothing but positive every time I've cast it. I've gotten at least 4 cards. It's something that people end up using a removal on my 3/1. Like
yeah,
I
your
mean, well,
two
that's mainly
mana three
Mark.
one.
Mark just he wants it out and he'll kill it. Um, but yeah, I think this is an awesome card for card advantage in a deck where maybe you don't have a lot of card draw, especially if you're mono. Just try a Zenith Chronicler. It's a good time, and people will thank you. Again, you're building goodwill because people are like, "Oh yeah, so and so cast it. I get an extra card draw," and you're like, "Yeah, man, yeah, you do." Meanwhile,
Yeah.
your hand's full and you're ready to board wipe their ass. So wipe that ass.
Word, wipe that ass. If you have one takeaway from this podcast,
Wipe that ass.
wipe that ass.
All right, let's go to lands. Oh, can we just say the one shout out for the colorless is obviously Chamil.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, I couldn't put that on the list because we've been raving about that for the past 9 episodes, but
Yeah,
Chamil is one hell.
I wanted to, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
how many times are we gonna talk about this fucking card?
Yeah, spells can't be countered. Like, why did they put that on there? The whole, discover 5 every
I
end
love
step is great,
that.
but
That's so good. Fuck that. That's so good.
fuck that. All right, let's go to lands. What's a land that you just want to put in decks?
Rogue's Passage.
Hell yeah.
Fucking simple, basic ass fucking land. But it goes Rogue's Passage will go into like essentially any deck that I want to attack with anything. Because it doesn't come in tapped, which for me is huge. So you could at least get the colorless. And then for 4 mana, which is a hefty price, but then when you get to mid game, it's really not so bad. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, and it's that creature you control. So there's been times when I've used it to like, oh, somebody's attacking an opponent with something that's huge. Well, enjoy not being able to block that, which is beneficial for me. Or any deck where I'm trying to, land hits. It's so much utility. I know that this is like nothing new to anybody, but I'll put Rogue's Passage in like 80% of my decks.
I have it in 50% of mine for sure. That's a go-to for me when I make my list. It's like Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, because I'm a budget list player. My lands are all budget, so like Rogue's Passage is right there with Command Tower and everything. And I'll pull it out of some decks, obviously 3-color, 4-color that doesn't need it. I'm sure I'll pull it out, but no, it's right there in my staple. And like you said, it doesn't have to be your creatures. You can always use this for someone else just to watch the world burn. It's great. It was on my list. Luckily, I have some other options, but it was good enough to make my list as well.
Oh,
Because
nice.
it's a classic. It's classic.
Yeah, it's so
and what
good.
is it? 10 cents? You get it
Yeah.
for less than a quarter?
Pocket change.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So if you went for that one, I'm going to go for one that's a little bit controversial, but also, in my opinion, a staple. It's Temple of the False God.
Oh.
Yes. So it's a land that taps, add 2 colorless, activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands. Listen, if you're building your decks right, I promise you'll have 4 other lands out. This will tap for 2 mana, and don't fuck around. That's all it is. It's a Soul Ring as a land. I guess that's not really what it is.
Ancient Tomb.
It's an Ancient Tomb that you don't have to pay the 2 mana for, and sometimes you want to pay that 2 mana. Sometimes you want it. But I mean, Temple, I'm putting Temple in most of my decks. Again, unless it's 3-4 colors and the 2, colorless mana isn't really helping you. But I am in a, no apology. I fucking run this nonstop. How about you?
It depends for me. If I'm in a, if like, what? Yes and no. I don't run it in everything. Depends like what other ramp I'm running to. If I feel like I'm gonna reliably get to 5 lands, which most of the time you're right, you do. Really, it's just like it just feels bad early in the game because nothing hurts more than when you have 3 lands in your hand, but one of them is Temple of the False God, which essentially means that you don't have 3 lands.
Which you don't keep that hand. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it gets a bad rap because didn't the Command Zone like publicly come out and say like fuck this card?
Yeah. There's been a few, mainstream people that have been very vocal about this isn't worth running. But
I don't think it's
it's
so
never
bad.
hurt me.
Yeah.
Not never. No. It's not never. Not like I've never died from this, but I mean, listen, if you're getting mana fucked, you're getting mana fucked. It is what it is. And I mean, this adds a little sting to it, but it's no worse than getting like that bounce land when you have to discard a fucking card, It is what it is. Damn, I just killed a bug and it smells like bacon. Interesting. It was one of those earwigs. Fucking
That sounds great.
wild. I've never killed one with my bare hands. It smells not bad, honestly. Ooh, I'd cook one of them up. Anyway,
after that exchange,
what else you got?
The War Room
with Steve Bannon. Nice.
Yes, exactly. Again, another utility land comes into play untapped that you can tap for colorless. 3 and tap it. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity. Draw a card. Again, I just like similar to Wayfarer's Bauble. Like this just fills a slot of I'm in a color that doesn't draw cards easily on its own. So this is usually only I use it in like 1 or 2 colored decks.
Yeah, 3 mana, 2 life, draw a card. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
3 mana, 2 life, draw a card. That's great.
Or 3 mana, 1 life, draw a card. Or in my colorless Eldrazi deck, it's 3 mana, no life, draw a card.
Ooh,
yeah, I just like card draw in the land area because they're like, mid to late game, there are definitely turns when you're not casting everything or you really don't have much to cast, like maybe run out of gas a little bit. So just to have like card draw there, 3 mana, not the greatest rate, but it's also on a land, so it has other utility besides like, drawing a card.
Yeah.
Good for monocolor decks. Like the
Yeah. I again, another card I overlook. I've never really even considered to put into a deck, but immediately I'll put that right in Massacre Girl. That
should definitely be in Massacre Girl. Any monocolor deck should run this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put that in Krark too. Fuck. Get it in there. All right, cool. And how much are they? They're $1. All right. That's something I could get behind.
Yep.
Nice. Everybody buy some more rooms. All right.
Yeah,
so my next one is a card I've been running a lot. It's a pretty new card. It's from Olubi 1. I have not activated it yet, but okay. So the Mycosynth Gardens is one of the sphere lands. It's a rare, and it comes in untapped. You tap it for 1 colorless. You could pay 1 and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. So it is good color fixing at a good rate. Doesn't come in, doesn't come in tapped. But you could also pay X and tap it. The Mycosynth Gardens becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana value X. So this land that is mana fixing for you can at any time become any artifact on your battlefield. If there is an important thing like a Strionic Resonator for 2 mana and tapping this, you can now get this land to turn into a second Strionic, which can be huge. If you have the Aether Flux Reservoir, I don't know if that's legendary or not, but like that's something where you could have 2 of them out, gain double the life, trigger that 2 times. there's a lot of artifacts that can be quite powerful if you have two of them. Um, Aetherworks Marvel, is that legendary? Because I mean, you can
No,
spin
I
that
don't think
twice. Yeah,
so.
4 mana. Make one of them.
Is it?
Spin it twice. I don't know. Let's see. It is no.
It is.
Oh, it is. It is. It doesn't have that top part, but it is legendary. Okay. But I mean, there's anything. You just make a copy of an artifact you need, even if it's
Mana
Zenith
Crypt.
Chronicler. Make a second. Oh yeah, or a second Mana Crypt, or just turn it into a Soul Ring, or whatever you need, man. This is it's cool in theory. I have not transformed it into a single fucking thing yet, and I've
Or
casted a
Blade
bunch,
Steel.
but it's there. Yeah. Well, Blaze Steel is also legendary. No,
I don't
he's
think
not.
so.
He's just indestructible. Again, that's the thing, is like without that border, I don't know. No, he's
Yeah.
not. So yeah. I mean, you'd have to pay 11 mana in order to make
Yeah.
another one, but
It's fine.
sometimes that's worth it.
Yeah.
It's okay. So yeah, no, what were some of our artifacts that we like? What could we copy? I don't even remember what I said. 2 Jinx Chokers, get 2 Jinx Chokers out, you know?
That's terrible. Don't do that, anybody.
Yeah, or I mean, even play it when you're playing the One Ring. Make a copy of the One Ring. It gets rid of the old one with all the burden encounters, and you can start over. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's even in an emergency help with the One Ring, because the One Ring's a problem, dog. But yeah, I'm gonna say Zenith Chronicler is the best thing to copy it. That's all. All right, what other lands you got?
All right. So my last card for the day is Westvale Abbey. Now, I have put Westvale Abbey in any deck that I have that goes wide, and is can run with black because black is on the backside. And I have to say that I don't even like this card. Well, no, let me back to it. I like this card a lot. I don't think this card is very good, but I like it a lot. And I'm saying that because for 5 mana and a life, you only get 1 token. So that's terrible. 5 mana, tap it, sack 5 creatures, then you get the backside. Not so bad. So you're really not using Westvale Abbey to like make the tokens, but you're sacrificing your go wide deck, and then you get like this guy on the back here with his flying lifelink indestructible haste 9/7, which is super cool. I've literally only flipped Westvale Abbey like a handful of times despite me running it for years. And I think I've actually hit with Ormondal like once because it just instantly eats removal as soon as you flip it over.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Even
still,
with the haste,
yeah,
it's instant removal. Get
yep,
it
you're
out of
just
here.
getting the swords to it or
Sword.
something.
Yeah,
So
Celebrate.
yeah, this is a weird card for me because I legitimately will put it in every single deck that goes wide without
Yep.
question, without fail, and I still kind of think it's not a great card. But I love it.
This is a card I loved in Standard. I've never even thought about putting it in a Commander deck, but honestly, I mean, I have decks that I could and should put it in. I mean, even if it's just in Rowan to pay the 1 life, um, I should be running Westfields. What are they? Oh, they're $5. That's a bit much.
The Secret Lair's a
Secret Lair
dollar,
drop.
$2.
Okay, yeah. How's that artwork look? Pull her
Probably looks like
up.
shit.
Oh yeah, if it's that cheap, but that's all right. Oh,
Oh
it's
no, this
rainbows.
one?
Hell yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, this is the
Oh.
thick stock. This is the fucking
Oh.
yeah.
Boo.
It's not a playable card. That's why it's cheaper.
All right. Boo. All right.
Yeah,
Well, sick artwork though.
yeah. That's this one. That's actually $16.
I've been hammered by that card in Standard before. I mean, again, that's where I know Westvale is from some pain in Standard, but Commander, I'll have to try that out.
Yeah. So Westvale Abbey, shit card, but I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so my last one is going to be a whole set, and it is the hidden set from I guess where's Discover? The Ixalan. So all hidden nursery, hidden volcano, hidden our hidden homies. All right. So they all come in tapped. They're a cave. I don't know if
Trash.
that matters, but it's a cave. What? It's a
Tap
cave.
lands.
See,
Trash.
but okay, this one's worth it, and it's paid off for me. So when they came out, I bought like 6 to 8 of each in foil, just because I really do. I had belief in this, and then I shoved it in all my decks to see how it worked. Occasionally, it does suck to come in tapped, but most of the time, you can get around it. And even if you have shit in hand, if like you have some removal you don't want to use and you still want to progress forwards, you sacrifice this. You have to pay 5 mana, but you're going to discover 4, and it'll always pay off. It's guaranteed to be something that you can cast up to 4 mana, and if not, it goes to your hand. It's not like Cascade that doesn't. So in some ways, this is 5 mana, really, really good card draw with something you can cast for free. It's underwhelming in theory. It's coming in tapped. It only taps for 1. The cave is absolutely irrelevant in almost every aspect, and it's 5 mana and that to do it. But when you need it, it's priceless. It really is priceless. Okay, so maybe it's not like War Room, because War Room will draw you that card, but also you're paying the 3 mana and that life to draw the card, and it isn't cast. Where this, it's gonna cast it for free. And if you don't want to, it goes to hand. So try hidden nurseries. If you have a budget deck or something like that, put it in there. You're gonna love the fact that it's cast when you need it.
Yeah, I ended up putting one of these in put not into the nursery, but one of them in something. Like I think I have it in my Ilharg deck. Unfortunately, I'm trying to tune up Ilharg, so it's probably going to come out. But I do like the
Well,
Discover.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun set to have in your decks, and like I said, I mean, it's honestly, I've never been too disappointed to have it, because at the end of the day, it's just a land. It's just a land, but it has a lot of potential. So,
All
yeah.
right, a lot of good cards here today.
Yeah, and then the honorable mention that I didn't put on my list, but clearly is the Cabal Coffers and Urborg. Those fellas
Oh
together,
yeah, come on.
they're just so good. So much
Mine
mana.
actually is Beseju, not the new one, the older one. I don't know how to spell it. Is that how you spell it? No. The one that if you pay one or like fucking what the fuck is it? Hold on. The one that your spell can't be countered.
Oh, okay. I don't. Oh, Boseiju, who shelters all.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, when it comes into play tapped, you can tap it and pay 2 life and add 1 to your mana pool. If that mana is spent on an instant or sorcery spell, that spell can't be countered by spells or abilities.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's my honorable
Oh, they got
mention.
sick artwork for it too. Oh no. This is an altar. Right. Oh no. I think this is real. Interesting. Yeah,
How do
what
you
set
spell
is it
that?
from? That's Boseiju.
Oh, it was the eye that was fucking me up.
That's the one. Yeah, look at that artwork, huh?
This dildo right here.
No, the one with like the banana lightning hanging off it.
The
Yeah.
bin-
I don't know.
yeah, then yeah, that was part of the fucking whatchamacallit? I think that was a secret lair.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Boseiju.
Yeah, anything that
Yeah.
stops people from countering my spells is a big plus for me.
Yeah. Yeah, which I need to start running, because normally it's you that's countering my spells. Although if I'm gonna counter a spell, it'll always be your spell.
Exactly.
I'll save it for you. Yeah. No, that's fair. That makes sense. Damn. Well, man, we listed some really underwhelming cards. That's awesome. We
Yeah.
some
Really
treasure
C
of the jank.
minus, real C minus cards here.
Yeah. But bring a lot to the table, even though it's not power they're bringing to the table. But they're
Yeah,
bringing shit, I promise.
like one land on turn 2.
Yeah. So, all right, for the 8 listeners, get 2 cards that we talked about today and just try them out. Promise you, these are all tested and tried out cards, and
Get that Westvale Abbey off because I fucking can't.
yeah, Zenith Chronicler, dog. Let everyone draw them cards. No, honestly, Key to the City would be the one I push the hardest if I was to say you should really check
Yeah.
something out. But no. All right, awesome, man. I think that is at the bottom of the glass.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I got a busy day ahead of me. I know you do too. But shit, the Saturday morning recording's a wild experience because
Yeah.
now I'm I'm all hoop teed up, dog.
Yeah. Ready to go. Ready, magicked out.
Yeah, I'm ready. I got this knife. I don't know if you can see it. It's American handle.
Fuck yeah.
American handle. I got white pins in it. I gotta go finish this up today, get it out for the weekend.
Word.
And then I'll be posting it on the Instagram for 4th of July. You'll see a wild photo of absolutely obnoxious American things. There'll be guns and deer skulls and bullets and whiskey, and it'll be a true embodiment of America for the 4th of July.
Thank God. God bless America.
Amen, brother. And on that, everyone, take it easy.
Take it easy.